Warm weekends are back, and the Home Depot is here to help make the most of your outdoor projects with #1 rated Olympic Elite Stain. Enhance the natural beauty of the wood on decks, fencing, furniture, and more with an anti-fading waterproof shield backed by a lifetime warranty. Your project can weather any weather, guaranteed. Upgrade to Olympic Elite, America's most trusted brand, at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Nobody builds 5G like Verizon builds 5G, because we're the engineers who built the most reliable network in America. And the more you do with 5G, the more building it right matters. The more your network matters. The more Verizon engineers going the extra mile matters. It's us pushing us. It's Verizon versus Verizon. 5G built right from America's most reliable network. Most reliable based on rankings from RootMetrics second half 2020 U.S. report of 3 mobile networks. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Hello and welcome to the Hoopball DFS Today podcast. I am your host, Mike Patra, going solo for this wonderful little Sunday. Got May 30th, 4 playoff games, more importantly to talk about, and hopefully they're a little bit more exciting playoff games than the past few days. I mean, that Blazers game got a little out of hand, and then the whole Bucks series, we just want to forget about that one. But I think we got some good basketball dialed up for us. We're gonna do this in a nice little condensed format. We got some things going on behind the scenes here at Hoopball. Producer taking the day off. Shout out Dan Bespers. Absolutely deserves it more than anybody. So you're probably wondering why we didn't have any intro music. Well, that's simply because our main man Dan deserves a day off. He deserves his time. He deserves his peace of mind to enjoy. Dude works too hard, so he's getting that day and he's crushing it, man. Absolutely deserves it. Shout out Dan. If you guys do not follow Dan Bespris, I don't know what you're doing. If you're listening to any Hoopball podcast, you're not following Dan Bespris, go get on that. Dude is an absolute stud for everything gambling and season long. One of my best buds as well. So always love to give the credit where it's due. But this podcast is brought to you by our good friends over at MyBookie. So guys, head over to mybookie.ag. If you're looking for a gambling site, if you're looking for a bookie platform, it is over at MyBookie. That is the only one you should be using. And when you head over there, on your initial deposit, use that promo code HOOPBALL, HOOPBALL, and they will match your deposit 50% on up to $1,000. So that's free money to play with, guys. Just use that promo code HOOPBALL on your initial deposit. So we got 4 games on the docket, 4 games that we're going to talk about. Only one person doing the show, so that usually makes it go a little quicker. But we also want to make sure that this podcast can get released to you in time, because the games start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're recording this the morning of. So I'm going to try to do this pretty quickly for you guys. Find the value, find the guys that we're looking for. We kind of have a good understanding on a lot of these matchups and everything, so let's jump into it. New York Knicks traveling to Atlanta, taking on the Hawks. For the injury report for this one, let's check out and see what we got. Brandon Goodwin, Cam Reddish, both ruled out. Mitchell Robinson still ruled out for the Knicks. Nerlens Noel no longer on that injury report. Came off the bench in that last one. Outproduced Taj Gibson, even though Taj started. Probably see that switch happen where we see Noel get slotted right back into that starting lineup tonight. But keep an eye on that. We will not know up until maybe about 11:30, 12. We should have that news Eastern Standard Time. 209.5 game total. The Hawks are being favored by 4.5 points. So we'll start off with this Knicks team. I've been riding these Knicks hot throughout this entire playoff series. It's just simple math, guys. I mean, if you play DFS and Tom Thibodeau's a coach, you know that where those minutes are going to go during playoff rotations. They get tight. Turns into like an 8-man rotation. Everybody plays a boatload of minutes. So we can continue looking at these guys. Now, talking to town, Julius Randle. I've been playing him a boatload, and he's been costing me a decent amount of money because I've been putting together some pretty good lineups, and then I'm spending a big chunk of my salary on Julius Randle, and it has yet to pay off. And it's no shock when the dude's just been shooting abysmal. 13% from the floor in that last one, shot 2 of 15, only managed 31 DK points. Game before that, he shot 31%, and the game before that, 26% in this series. So he's been struggling mightily against the Hawks from the field. Now, is that playoff jitters? Is that Randle just in a funk? Is it? I don't think it's the matchup. That's what I'm getting at. He's dominated this matchup season long, and I'm watching these games, and this dude just looks like he's struggling with confidence. 9,100. I love that price tag. Could we trust him in cash in this? Probably not, especially given that we have 4 games instead of 3. We have some other options that we could choose from. But I definitely think Randle's still an option. And, going back to the Derrick Rose well is something I'll continue to do. 21 shot attempts over the past 2 games. The dude's playing 38 and 39 minutes on a nightly basis. With that kind of floor, with the ceiling he has and the matchup, it's all there for Derrick Rose. No worries for me if you want to continue playing him. Now, Nerlens Noel, can we get a 4,500? Absolutely love that. There's probably about 3 or 4 centers I really, really do like on this slate that we're going to have to touch on. Noel's one of them, though. 4,500, a guy that should just get slotted back in that starting role, even if he comes off the bench, if he's playing 25 minutes. With his defensive abilities alone, we know what his upside is. He's never going to score a whole lot, but we get those steals, we get those blocks, decent rebounds, 4,500. He's a good value play. So those are the 3 guys I'm mainly looking at. And I don't mind taking another pivot play, looking at a guy like Alec Burks, RJ Barrett, both these guys. I prefer Barrett over Burks, but Barrett's minutes have been slightly limited, just basically going with whatever rotations working the best at that time. And over these past few games, Barrett has not played more than 30 minutes. So that's the one worry. 29 minutes, 26 minutes in back-to-back games. But it's RJ Barrett. He's a focal point of this offense. He's one of the main pieces of this team's future. He should continue to play. I'm not really worried about it, and the price has dipped below $6K, where we're getting a slight discount on it as well. So sounds cliche, but if you want to continue playing these Knicks, load up on them. I have no fault there. Even Bullock, man. Anybody that's getting the 30-plus minutes, we could play. Bullock would probably be another GPP play of mine with Randle, and then I think Rose and Noel make for great cash or GPP plays. On the Hawks side of the ball, Trey Young coming in at 8,800. One of the more expensive guys, but he's worth it. He's been putting up 40 and 50 points throughout this series. Now, where does he fall on the scale of will I pay for him compared to other players? That's the real question, because I'm never going to tell you not to play Trey Young. Absolutely not. But I think I prefer Paul George over him. Kyrie gets a little bit closer, but, probably still prefer Randle over him for $300 more. So he's in play for me. I just don't see myself going overweight on him. I still think I'm going to try to go back to the Randle well. I've already invested enough money into that. I've been taking it off the chin that I know it's going to pop one of these games. He's due. So I'll take Randle over him. I'll probably take Paul George over him. So he's still in my player pool. I just don't see myself having so many shares of him. I love Clint Capella. Haven't been getting that game I wanted in this matchup, and I don't think I'll be playing him on this slate simply because I talked about it. There's Noel, and there's 2 other centers that we will get to. I like all 3 of them a lot. But the one guy I do like on this team that I've been playing, and I'll continue to play, is Deandre Hunter. Dude's back in the starting lineup. He's playing 30-plus minutes, no minutes restriction, looks great, looks healthy. Sign me up. 4,300 for a guy that's put up 22 and 26 DK points over his last 2. Should be looking at 5x value, and there's upside for more. Allows us to get some exposure to this game without having to target too many people going against that tough Knicks defense. So probably the one guy I have the most interest on this team would be DeAndre Hunter. Outside of that, wouldn't fault you if you wanted to play Trey or John Collins, but they're just not immediate options I'm looking at. I still just kind of want to go some other places. Next game, Phoenix Suns traveling to LA, taking on the Lakers. For the Lakers, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Anthony Davis are both questionable. Davis came out and said he's a gamer. There's no way he sits. His competitive nature says that he's playing in this game. Consider him probable. That's what he's trying to say. So news to monitor, but he looks good. Abdul Nader's ruled out. Chris Paul is questionable, dealing with the right shoulder contusion. Wouldn't be playoffs without Chris Paul being injured, but he should be good to go for this one as well. 211.5 game total. Lakers favored by 6.5 points. So we'll start off with the away team. Start off with this Phoenix Suns team. And there's 2 players I'm looking at on this team. It's not Campaign, and I want to say Campaign with just how well this guy's been balling out throughout this series, especially over the last 2 games. I just don't want to chase that. 5,400, we're getting the price increase, so I'll pass on him. But I tell you what, I will go to DeAndre Ayton, 6,700. He's one of those other centers I talked about. This dude has been nothing but great and consistent throughout this entire series. He's shooting insane from the floor, which I do not expect to hold, but a floor of 37 DK points in this series so far for a guy that's 6,700. He's hit 40-plus twice. That's great value. They're going to need his size. They're going to need his consistency. And again, he's not going to shoot 70, 80, and 90% from the floor. If he does, fantastic. I'm not expecting him to. But he's got a nice floor and a great ceiling as well with this matchup at this price tag. So I'll be looking at some DeAndre Ayton, and I think continue to look at guys like Jay Crowder, 4,800, simply because of the floor. The shot hasn't been there over the past 3 games. He's actually been struggling from 3 mightily. He shot 2 out of his last 20 from deep in this series. So those shots are eventually going to start to fall a little bit better for Crowder. He's not the guy that's going to go out there and pour on 20 actual points. But if he's going to continue to play 29 and 30 minutes because he's going to have to, quote unquote, be their LeBron James stopper, good luck with that. But he's going to be the guy that's chasing LeBron and following him a lot around the floor. So for those reasons, give me the guy that's playing minutes. DeAndre and Jay Crowder, probably two of my more favorite options on this Phoenix team. Not really looking at much else. On the Lakers side of things, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, both these guys coming in at under 10K salaries, which I love that. Anytime these guys are under 10K, we can look at them. Where do they fall on the slate, though? I think I still prefer some of those Clipper guys that we'll get to later. If I had to play one of these guys, I would be playing Davis over LeBron, but it feels weird. If this game starts to pull away early, you got to understand the Lakers are going to have no incentive to play Anthony Davis 40 minutes of the game if they're up 14.
At Haverty's, we know that saving money makes people happy. That's why right now you can save up to $1,000 on everything in the store. And our wide selection of quality furniture means absolutely everyone can find something they love. So you'll save more money and walk away even happier. And when you're happy, we're happy. Come in today and save up to $1,000. Haverty's, we furnish happiness.
Lowe's has more of what trade pros like you need to get the job done. That means more delivery options, more convenient hours to fit your schedule, and more savings to fit your budget. More of the brands you trust the most. More of everything you need, all in one place. That's why, in the past year, more electricians, landscapers, painters, plumbers, and other pros helped make Lowe's the new home for trade pros. U.S. only.
14 points in the fourth quarter. Keep your eye on that thing and, might limit their upside and give them a little risk. So I'd probably lean more GPP for these types of guys. If you want to look at the cash, you got your Randles, you got your LA guys, Luka if he plays, Boston Celtics guys. I just don't think that these are the cash type guys I would roll with. I just think that there's too much variability in them, and there's options in ways for them to kind of see their floor performances, blowouts and everything else. So I will pass, but there is one guy I wanted to talk about on this Laker team that I think that we could look at, and that's gonna be Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder's been balling, no doubt about it. 5,900. If you wanted to save some money off of a guy like Derrick Rose, double-digit shot attempts over the last two games. He's played at least 33 minutes in every game so far in the series, and he's been balling. Don't love a lot of these Lakers. I don't like this game that much as a whole, but if I had to pick one of them, it would probably be Schroeder, and if I had to spend up on somebody, it would be Davis, but I would limit it in my GPPs. Excuse me. On to the next game, halfway point, about 10 minutes in. So, again, condensed podcast. Hopefully you guys get to hear it in time. Brooklyn Nets traveling to Boston, taking on the Celtics. Coming off of Jason Tatum's absolutely insane game, blow-up game. Jaylen Brown ruled out. Robert Williams is doubtful. Kemba Walker is questionable, but he should be expected to play in this one. For the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jeff Green, both ruled out. Jeff Green dealing with the plantar fasciitis, going to miss the next 10 days or so. So be tough for him to come back before anything, before the NBA Finals. But that's 10 days is enough time for plantar fasciitis. It just takes way too long. It's a lingering injury. Be shocked if this dude even comes back at all. But we'll start off with this Nets team. Coming off of a dud, it's not even their own fault. When Jason Tatum plays like that, there's not much you could do. It's a tough pill to swallow when Tatum's balling like that. But we'll start at the top. James Harden coming in at 10-5, getting a little bit of a price boost because he is coming off a 70-point game. And these guys were just absolutely balling out. And the problem that we have to look at with all three of these guys healthy is they're all three going to play minutes. They're all three going to have usage. It's just going to be where the shot is falling that night. So I don't play Kyrie Irving very often, especially given what else is available on the slate. When you look at Durant and Harden and you're looking at the usage, those two guys just they managed to put up the ancillary stats a little easier than Kyrie. Durant could get the boards, Harden could get the assist in the boards. Kyrie's pretty scoring reliant when he's playing alongside of these two guys, and he's playing a little bit more off ball as Harden's playing point guard. So I just don't play. I don't play Kyrie. I might take one or two games off the chin, and if I do, so be it. I don't care about the Garden narrative. None of that means anything to me with all the other things that we have going on in the slate. So I'll play Harden. I prefer him over Durant ever so slightly, just because I think his upside is ever so slightly higher. Both have tremendous upside. And outside of that, the only other guy I would be looking at on this team would be a guy like Joe Harris. Struggled with his shot in the last one. But for 5,200, we know his upside, we know his floor. A lot of that stuff is kind of baked in there. And if you wanted to take a stab at a guy like Blake Griffin at 42 for some value, sure, just know that the ceiling's not so high, but the floor is pretty low as well. On the other side of the ball, now, I do think there's some interest in the Celtics team. I will not chase that Tatum game. I may take one off the chin if I don't, but that's okay. 9,800, I just don't feel like chasing it is the way I want to go. I think that Brooklyn's going to bounce back in a big way, and I think this game could get put to bed pretty soon. But Tristan Thompson at 5,200 with no Robert Williams coming off of a big game. I think we can expect another one from that. If he's playing 30 minutes per game, we should be looking at double-digit rebounds, giving us a nice, safe floor. We always know that the Nets can't play any defense against opposing centers, especially now that people are starting to get hurt a little bit. So sign me up, Tristan Thompson. He falls into play as one of those center options I like. When we talked about him, it was Ayton, Noel, Thompson. I think all these guys are great options. I'll look at all three of them. Outside of Tristan Thompson, the other guy that I have interest in would be Marcus Smart. He's just been playing phenomenal through the series. We know that he's going to have to play every minute that he could defensively, just basically chase around Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Looking at the past 2 games, he's put up at least 37 DK points. He's been shooting great from 3. Sign me up. I don't mind some Marcus Smart at 6,300. Now, I prefer him over a guy like Dennis Schroeder, but it just comes down to ownership and where you're standing and kind of how you're game scripting your builds. But no reason why you can't look at either one of those two guys as mid-tier guard options. Both have point guard and shooting guard eligibility too, so it makes for construction a little easier. So that's it for me over here on the Celtics. Marcus Smart, Tristan Thompson will be my main options. Tatum, I expect a little bit too many people to go chasing that. I think I'll avoid that to the ownership and get my exposure in the later game. Last game of the night, LA Clippers traveling to Dallas, taking on the Mavericks. For the Mavericks, Luka Doncic is currently questionable. Rick Carlisle came out and said he expects him to play. He thinks he's going to play, but he's going to see how he feels in the morning and test it out. But I expect Luka to play in this one. He's a gamer. JJ Redick ruled out. Maxi Kleber is probable, though, with that right Achilles soreness. Serge Ibaka, questionable due to the back spasms. He was ruled out at Game 3. They need Serge. Start off with this Clippers team. Kwai Leonard, Paul George. Absolutely love both these guys. We saw it in the last one. The right combo was to play both of them. They were both slightly underpriced. Anytime that you see Kwai Leonard and Paul George, I guess, falling under, Kwai Leonard's under 9K in playoffs. Yeah, you look at them. Played 42 minutes. There is no game management right now. They need to win. When we know that, just play these guys. They're going to flow through their offense, the entire offense through both of their studs. Their usage, both of their usages should be over 30%, and they're both slightly underpriced. So sign me up, Kwai Leonard, Paul George, either one, both, whatever way you want to do it, whatever makes your lineup construction work out. I like both these guys a lot. Outside of that, Marcus Morris Sr. at 4,500. If there is no Serge Ibaka, we could probably expect to see another 30-plus minutes out of Morris. And, we probably expect to see that regardless, just based on this series and this matchup. He's been struggling mightily. It looks like Lucas has been bullying him and Patrick Beverley into not getting any DFS points. But with no Serge Ibaka, if he is ruled out again, I'd expect to see a few more minutes for a guy like Marcus Morris Sr., and he's a rock-solid value play. Outside of those two guys, if you wanted to look at anybody else, you could chase that Reggie Jackson well. Wouldn't mind that at 4,400. He'll still continue to have some good bench usage. Or if you wanted to go back to the Rondo well, if he's playing mid-20s minutes, we're probably looking at about 25 DK points. It's good 5X at 4,800, so I don't mind it. But for the most part, Leonard, George, Rondo, Morris, all 4 of those guys would be my main plays. Don't think I'd go to too much else, but I'm sure one of those grubby, bench games for Terrence Mann are right around the corner at 3,600. He played great in that last one. 19 minutes and 15 minutes over the last 2. If you need it, it's there, but not one of the value plays. I'd be recommending it in cash or GPP. On to my Mavericks. Luka Doncic coming in at 11-1. Tried to do everything he could to will his team to a win in that last one. Played great. Shot 54% from the floor. Put up 71 DK points. Almost had a 40-point triple-double. Was just 1 rebound and 1 assist shy. It's Luka. He's got 70 DK points in 2 out of the 3 games this series. If you have the money to spend on him, I won't fault you. Just think it's going to be tough to get there. I see a lot of my builds going with a little bit more of a balanced approach on the studs. Not spending much more than 10K on anybody. Going with maybe a Kwai Leonard and a Randle or a Paul George and a Randle. Maybe you get Trey. You can look at some of the guys over there in Phoenix. There's a lot of cheaper studs. I don't think we need to spend up on Luka tonight. I don't mind it. I'm not going to tell you not to play Luka. I just don't see myself having that many shares of Luka. If anything, I'd probably go towards a little bit more of Porzingis at 7,300. Just makes a little bit more sense to the builds. I think people will fade him as far as ownership. Not too many people are going to go to him, especially with a lot of the forward value that we do have. So I think I'd probably lean a little bit more Porzingis. And if I needed some ancillary options, Maxi Kleber at 4,100. He's probable on the injury report. Looks like he's going to be playing. If this dude's playing, we're looking at mid-20s minutes. Sometimes he can even get to the 30 mark. He's played 30 in every game this series, so just keep an eye on that Achilles injury. When it's sore, it worries me. But for a guy that's 4,100 and he's put up at least 20 to 25 DK points in every game throughout the series so far, it's solid cash value. Not going to win you the game, but it won't burn you and make you lose it either. So that is it. Really just Porzingis and a little bit of Maxi Kleber action for me over here. That's it. Not going to fault you if you want to go to Hardaway, but it's not something I'm feeling tonight. But dude's been a pistol throughout this entire series, and Mavs need him to continue shooting well if they're going to sneak this one out. But thank you guys for listening. It was a condensed podcast. It was all done by myself, Mike Apotria, in less than 20 minutes. So hopefully we can get this out there into the podcast waves, into the cloud, whoever stores, and get this to you guys soon enough. Again, apologize, no intro music. Enjoy your day, Dan. Thank you guys for listening. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Mike Apotria, MikeApotria. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, 5-star, all that good stuff. We really do appreciate it, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Take care, and let's go crush some GPPs.
Move in with Frontier.
Hey, it's us. Your 10 o'clock video conference meeting?
Sorry, I was on mute.
We heard you were moving.
It's time to upgrade to Frontier.
With upload speeds as fast as download speeds, Frontier fiber optic internet is lightning fast.
And it's just $59.99 per month plus activation fee for 500 meg service. And the router's included.
So, let's talk next steps.
Make the switch.
Move in with Frontier. Go to getfrontier.com for complete offer details. Services subject to availability and all terms and conditions.
Check out great summer specials at Macy's Memorial Day Sale. Like Swim Chill Love, $12.99 to $25.99. Swim Hill Live-In, 40% off. And 40% off casual sandals and more. Or get an extra 20% off more summer essentials with your coupon or Macy's card. Plus, Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster during Star Money Bonus Days. Going on now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.